Welcome back to 504 Road Trips. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and product review of a couple of air compressors that I got off of Amazon. And let me start with the disclaimer. I got these from Amazon Vine, so these were provided to me free of charge in exchange for a review on Amazon. I was not paid anything to make this video. This is just additional content because this is the kind of item that if you travel, you kind of need to have one of these, and not just the ones that come with your car, because the ones that come with your car aren't necessarily the greatest things. So we have a couple of, this doesn't even have a brand name, it's just a JN8128 air compressor. No color on the packaging, so they went kind of cheap on the packaging, which is fine because they saved money on it. And then this is a SmartJerry 12-volt DC air compressor. It's got a nice color picture on the package. So we're going to open up each one of these and then we're going to test them out and see how they work. So we're going to start with this one here just because it looks like it's easier to open. And oh, they come in either red or yellow. This one's yellow and it's either wired or wireless. I did not know they had a wireless option. That may not have been an option for me, but wireless would be especially convenient. Oh, and it is taped shut. So yeah, wireless would have been a really convenient option. And at some point in the future, I may have to try to get one of those just to test that out. So we have an instruction booklet that appears to be upside down no matter which way I put it, and it folds out into 30 different languages. So here's the one that's relevant to me in English, and it says start the car, insert the DC plug of the air pump into the car's DC socket or cigarette lighter, start the preset pressure mode, connect the air hose to the tire valve, the pump will automatically stop when the tire reaches the target pressure. So let's see what else we have here. We have the little accessories kit for blowing up tubes and basketballs and that sort of thing, and an extra fuse. So I guess this thing has a fuse in the DC power plug, and if you blow that fuse, they give you an extra one. And if you lose that one, you can get those at any auto parts store for pennies. This is for attaching the hose to the car, which I actually like having this rather than a screw-on type, because the screw-on types are kind of inconvenient to use, especially if it's dark or you don't have room to get your hand in there to screw it on. So now this is the entire unit, and so the yellow part is this, which I think looks kind of cool. So it has a little control panel on top where you set the air pressure and you turn it on and off there. And I don't know what the R or the star means, and it didn't really cover that in the instructions. This is a light, which is probably what one of those buttons does, and this piece right here just screws into here, and I guess once it's in there you can leave it. Or you take it out and you put it back in the box. But so that's the whole unit right there. It's pretty simple. Make sure there's nothing else in the box. So reading further into the instructions, it says this product offers four inflation modes for you to choose from, making it easy to switch between different scenarios. 4 modes are car, motorcycle, bicycle, and ball. So one of those buttons is going to change the mode. It doesn't tell me which button, but I guess it changes the rate at which it pumps. So you don't explode your bike tire from putting too much air in it too fast. So I'm noticing this little door here, and it's a little storage compartment for the little tools. So rather than trying to keep them in that little Ziploc baggie, you got a place to put those. The only thing it doesn't include is space for these two, which this is some kind of an adapter, I guess, and this right here is the spare fuse. But that's still a pretty good way to keep those things I don't know about you, but I never used the ball inflator or the little nozzle for inflating inner tubes and rafts. But when that situation does come up, you're never going to find those pieces. So let's take it outside and test it out and see how it actually works. So we're going to start with the Hyundai Elantra, and I normally keep the tires pumped up to 34, and they're all a little bit low, and that might be because of the cooler weather, but we're going to get them back up to 34 and test out the pump using this car. So it does say to start the engine, which is always a good idea because then you get full voltage to the pump. Now this might be a bit convoluted because these aftermarket TPMS sensors have these sensors that screw onto the valves, and they have a lock nut, but now it looks like this one's loose. So we take that one off. You see, that's the lock nut right there. And hopefully I'll be able to attach this without removing the lock nut. No, I won't. So that's a problem with the aftermarket TPMS sensor. But it's an inconvenience that's well worth it because you know how much pressure you have in your tires when the factory TPMS sensors quit, which is what happened with this car. They haven't worked in years. So we're going to power it on, and we're going to set the pressure to not 36. Oh, it's giving me 29 because that's what's in it, which is what the thing on the dashboard read. So I'm going to set it to 34, and just like that, it shuts off. It says it's got 34 pounds, and that's it. Take this off. I'm going to replace this quickly. And now we'll take a look at this TPMS readout. Give it a minute to update. And now it's showing 33, which isn't quite 34, but I'm not sure how accurate this thing is. But what I know is that I have more air in that tire than I did before. But I think that's probably close enough for me. So I think this is a winner. The only thing that I don't like is that it doesn't have any way of storing the cable, and it doesn't have any way of storing the hose. So I'm going to have to put it back in this box, I guess, and put it in the trunk. But this will go in the trunk of our Hyundai. Also wanted to note that the R button here switches the modes, and I don't know how well yeah, you can see in the upper left corner of the display, I can get no glare on it, car, bicycle, or maybe that was motorcycle, bicycle, ball. So car is where you want it for filling up a car, and it does not hold the memory of what you set, you know, for the target pressure. It always goes back to 36 on car. Also, the little light button here on the front of the unit, once again, I don't know how well this is going to show in the daylight, but that's like a little flashlight. This is like an emergency light, so if you're on the side of the road, maybe somebody will see that. It's got a faster flash, and then off. Also of note, there's a little battery indicator on here, and there is a wireless version of this. This is not the wireless version. I'm assuming that that's just a remnant, or, you know, they use the same control panel for all of them, and this one just happens to have the little battery thing. It's always going to show a low battery. But when you unplug this from the DC socket in the car, it goes completely dead. So there's no battery in this at all. Next, we're going to take a look at this one, and this one has quite a bit of tape. Okay, that came off. And this is all in one. So with this one, we get a user's manual, and it's a lot less, it's entirely in English. So this gives, if you want to pause, you can take a look at that and read that, because it's got some detailed information on there. So let's take a look at the actual pump. This one, ooh. See, this one has an actual on-off switch, but it's not very well made, so it gets stuck. And then it's got some buttons down here with a plus and minus, which I'm assuming that's just to set the, the tire pressure that you want to pump up to. And okay, there we go. So we get the hose out, and this is the standard DC plug. In here we have the different tools. Wow. We got a spare fuse. We get the... Okay, this is one of those little nozzles for inflating rafts and inner tubes. This is a different one. And then we get the needle for blowing up basketballs, soccer balls, that sort of thing, footballs. So that all stores very neatly in here. And I bet I'll never get them back in there the way they were. But I like the fact that this one's self-contained. And it has the 90-degree air chuck type, I forget what they call these, but it's very easy to put onto the valve of the tire. So let's take this one outside and we'll see how it works. So to start out, since we don't have the benefit of the aftermarket TPMS sensor that gives exact readouts on the dashboard, we're going to use one of these old stick type air gauges just to see what the baseline reading here is. And I don't know how well it's going to focus, but it's showing about right on 30 pounds. And Honda recommends 35 for the front, 33 for the rear. So we're going to pump this one up to 35. So let's see how this one works. So once again, this one has the clamp on to the valve. And this one can either lay flat or you can stand up. It's showing 29 pounds. This thing's already on because of the flaky on-off switch. So let's see. We're going to set this to 35. And we'll just see what happens. Shuts off right at 35. So once again, this one is just like the other one. I think this one's a good pump. And this one has storage, even though it was kind of difficult to get it out. It has storage for the hose and for the cord. So this one is going to go in the trunk of the Honda. So I'm going to give this one 5 stars. And of course, the last thing you have to do with just about any modern vehicle is reset your TPMS calibration after you've pumped up your tires. So you do that and then you go drive around. So we're going to wrap up this video here. Links to the products you saw in this video are in the description. So check them out if you're in the market for that kind of thing. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, share and follow us on social media. Be sure and subscribe, leave a comment below, and join us for our next 504 road trip.